Gift or no gift? On time or perhaps fashionably late? Shoes on, shoes off. I'm gonna start that again, I'm so sorry. 3, 2, 1. Gift or no gift? On time or fashionably late? Shoes on or shoes off? When you're about to attend a holiday party, as we will, many I'm sure, over these next couple of weeks, these are the kind of questions that could be running through your head. Our next guest has the answers. Julie Helms is an etiquette expert who believes there is an art to being an elegant guest. She'll share how we can become one this holiday season. Julie, it's great to be with you.
Thanks for having me.
I love that you lend your voice to this topic. We were just chatting, our society becoming more and more casual, and it takes, I think, some boldness to step out with opinions surrounding the topic of etiquette. What led you to this particular genre?
I did a lot of international business for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And throughout that process, I was exposed to so many different cultures. And I was also very young. I was in my early mid-20s. So I was not only the youngest person in every room I walked into, but I was also oftentimes the only woman. So I dove into etiquette and cultural sensitivity as a way to bridge the gap and build my business skills while connecting with people on a personal level.
I love that. In my view, etiquette equals confidence, meaning if you know how to act or you've predetermined how you will show up, there's a confidence that comes with that. So I appreciate you arming us not just with etiquette guidelines, but also confidence today as we navigate these, social situations and upcoming parties. Your first piece of advice for us is not to arrive too early.
Yes. All the magic happens in that last hour before guests arrive.
Isn't that true?
Hosts are so busy getting ready for the party that an early guest can really throw that off.
Oh, we're frantic, right? You're doing all the last minutes.
The last thing we need is early guests that we have to entertain when we're trying to do the finishing touches of all the food, maybe light the candles, final decor. I recommend if you're in an American home and it's not for a wedding, to come within the first 5 to 15 minutes of the invited time.
5 to 15, so you're even giving us a buffer on the other side. Okay, all right, noted. What are your thoughts on hostess gifts? Again, we speak about our modern, more casual society. Do they still have a place?
Yes, they're definitely not mandatory, but it's a nice touch. The one thing I recommend is to think beyond the bottle of wine. That has become such a common hostess gift, and many people don't drink alcohol. In fact, alcohol consumption is declining in the US. And even wine lovers have very specific tastes. So it's better to think outside the bottle, things like a good book or an arrangement of flowers in a vase, local honey, even baked goods that you made yourself.
I think those personal touches are nice. If it's smelled a candle and thought of you, or the baked goods takes it to a next level, but something that you can personally leave your print or leave your mark with and on.
Wine is a bit too easy sometimes. It can feel impersonal. So going beyond that can definitely add a more personal touch.
I'm going to ask a question that, because of the way I was raised, I didn't realize it was such a hot debate, but I know that it is. What is your take from an etiquette perspective on the shoes on versus shoes off?
This is a very hot debate.
People have opinions on this.
It's highly cultural too. So families with different cultural backgrounds and different upbringings treat this very seriously, and it could be one way or another. Sometimes it's very obvious. If you walk into a party and the hostess greets you and she has her shoes on, you can keep your shoes on. If she has her shoes off, then it gets a little complicated because you're questioning, do I take mine off, or is she just being casual? So look by the front door. If there's a pile of shoes or a shoe caddy, then you should probably remove your shoes. And if you don't know, just ask. Do I take my shoes off or do we keep them on? Just
outright.
Just ask it.
I like the idea of looking for the clues. I'm assuming in most situations you could deduce what the situation is. I was raised in a no-shoe household. We currently are a shoes-on household, if that's what makes you comfortable. So I appreciate both sides. And I do think this speaks to etiquette overall. You do have to be respectful of both views and both sides and just take it for what it is, right?
And cultural doesn't always mean what country you're from. I spend time in Asia, and shoes off is much more common there.
Sure.
But then being in northern Alaska, shoes off is very common because there's a lot of snow and mud. So
yeah.
Cultural can mean a country, but it can also just mean a region.
Yeah, or just an individual household, honestly, like a family culture in my particular situation. You get the invitation, you're analyzing kind of the formality of that invite, and through women's minds is the question, what should I wear? You say there's an etiquette cord to consider here.
Yes. Always dress a little bit better than you would at home. When someone invites you into their home, part of showing respect and appreciating that gesture is showing up being well dressed. That doesn't mean wearing a ball gown to a barbecue. but make sure that you're wearing clothes that are well maintained, that are cleaned, ironed. And I like to think about a good rule of thumb is something you would wear to a nice restaurant or maybe Sunday best.
I find myself thinking too when I'm in that conundrum, you're going to feel a little uncomfortable either way. Meaning if you're underdressed, you're going to feel a little uncomfortable. If you're overdressed, you may feel a little uncomfortable. I would rather the discomfort of the overdress than the underdress. That's my particular view. So anyway.
Always my policy, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit overdressed.
What about the response when someone surprises us with a gift? They weren't on our list, but clearly we were on theirs.
That can be so uncomfortable. Etiquette dictates that we receive a gift with a thank you note, not necessarily a return gift. So it's not particularly rude if you don't reciprocate a gift, but most people aren't comfortable with that. So what I like to recommend is, especially this time of year, keep a couple of quality but generic items in the car already wrapped with a to from sticker on it, and just don't fill it out yet. And if someone surprises you, you can say, oh, I left yours in the car, let me go get it, and then quickly write their name and bring it back. And these should be things that are quality items that your friends would enjoy, but not things that are too specific. So stationery is a great one, like a beautiful stationery set, gourmet olive oil, local honey, imported sweets, or like fancy chocolates are great.
Yeah, I'll cement this with a thank you, Mom, I guess. But I remember in that age where, you know, as a young girl, you're figuring out friendships. My mom kept extra gifts wrapped in the pantry if someone came to the door. In the 3rd, 4th, 5th grade girl range, we would say, I've got yours in the pantry. We would run, there was a pen right there. We'd write their name on the label. And I appreciated that. It cemented, again, that confidence, right?
What a great way to do that with children.
Taught us young.
So beautiful.
Taught us young. All right, this is a biggie. And I've actually never heard anyone take a stance on this, so I'm super eager to hear your reasoning. Never ask for a tour of the house.
Never.
I'm actually relieved and sort of grateful to hear this. Tell us your thoughts.
You can always accept a tour if the host offers it. But asking for a tour of the house, especially around the holiday season, can really put the hostess on the spot. The week leading up to holiday hosting is so busy. There are daily grocery runs, there's tons of laundry piling up, there are presents that need to be wrapped. So chances are high that in one of her upstairs rooms or down the hall rooms, there's wrapping paper everywhere.
All that stuff that was on the counter before the doorbell rang, it's upstairs, behind a closed door, for a good reason. Yeah.
So it's better to just enjoy the parts of the house that are open to the party.
Yeah.
And try to make a conscientious compliment. So this is going beyond saying things like, wow, your house is huge. Notice something specific, such as, this is a beautiful piece of artwork, or I love your taste in antiques, or this living room is so cozy.
Something personal, more dialed in.
Yes.
Well, you also point out respect of the home is important. In our final 30 seconds together, let's end on this note. You say don't be overly formal. If you're coming in with a little bit of nerves or anticipation, try to shake that loose and present your true self.
Yes, acting overly formal or putting on airs makes other people feel uncomfortable, and it makes you look silly.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you don't know the protocol in a certain setting, just watch the host and then follow suit, do what they do.
Julie, thank you so much. We love your words. We love your recommendations. And where can we get more from you?
Julie Ann French Fry. So it's Julie Ann with an E, French Fry. And I share daily tips on etiquette and entertaining and a weekly show called Host and Tell.